From Network 7 Media Center, this is Mission Sonlight Edge, reporting from the city of Vienna, Austria. The Austrian Union is assigned to the Inter-European Division of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. This region was a crossroads for Central Europe during the Protestant Reformation.
As Seventh-day Adventists, we understand ourselves to some extent as heirs of the Reformation. So, in our contact with the people in Austria, we recognize this historic development. We are thankful what happened in the past.
Many of us trace our family history to Europe. My great-grandfather, János Antal, was a palace guard here over 100 years ago. There is a great deal of church history to speak of in this part of Europe as well. But today, the church is making history again as we see it grow rapidly.
Now in Austria, we see a movement which we never saw before. We see a lot of Muslim people who are receptive to our message. In fact, who are coming themselves to the church and asking for Jesus, asking for our message.
Migrant workers and Syrian refugees who have found temporary work in Austria are also seeking answers to their spiritual needs.
People who are just living here for 2-3 years because of work or because of different needs, how to help them to get this hope and go back home with this hope in their heart, without forgetting the Austrians themselves. We know that we are living in a secular Europe, and it is a big challenge to reach the people in the normal way we used to have.
In 1903, the first Seventh-day Adventist member was baptized. The church shortly began the work of sending pastors, teachers, and medical missionaries to Africa and Asia. Today, faithful Adventists from these far continents are now moving into Central Europe, including Austria, acting as missionaries to the secular here themselves.
Over the years, various churches were founded of different nationalities. We have a strong Romanian church here, actually 2 churches. In a few weeks we will found the first Bulgarian church in Vienna, in Austria. And the English church in Vienna is a very special community of international church members. More than 20 nationalities are represented in this church.
Abelardo Flores, a native of the Philippines, is the head elder of the International English Congregation meeting in Vienna.
We in the English Church, we are active in our missionary work. Every year, it is a established tradition in our church to have 1 revival meetings and 1 evangelism. Out of this evangelism, there are several souls that have been baptized, and we are also active in making contacts with other people through our social activities.
Because right now where we are, even though we are having worshippers who are more than 250 on Sabbaths, we don't have a room for the children's Sabbath school. In the main church room, we are having 5 classes in different languages.
This Adventist church is focused on personal growth and global mission.
The vision of the church is to have spiritual growth for members, and when we have spiritual growth for each one, then everything will be incidental. But of course, a big part of this is to have a nice and comfortable place to help us to do our evangelism, our social activities, and to make us a little bit more presentable to the community. When we have a larger place of worship, then we can have some other functions. Because as of now, we have a German class for refugees in our church. And so if we have a larger class, a larger church, then we can have more activities for the community. Our focus mainly is for the foreigners who are living here in Austria.
The church faces several unusual challenges. It was planted in this small hall that is in a sort of backyard to city apartments. The nearby neighbors don't like the noise of worship on Sabbath and file monthly grievances. Because of the complaints, the landlord refuses to repair water seeping into the basement, causing this black mold to climb the walls of the church facility. Despite the opposition and the health dangers, the members fill the sanctuary each Sabbath to study and worship and fellowship.
As of now, we need a bigger church because of growing numbers of members, and there are other problems which is also hazardous to the health of its members that should be addressed properly. And so we decided to look together with the union for another place or other opportunities to move to a better and larger place.
This tiny makeshift kitchen serves the 200 members and guests that attend every week. The members are understandably eager to be good neighbors and move on, as well as have a facility that allows them the space for their rapid growth and ministry.
Right now, under those conditions, we are having German courses for our friends coming from Syria, Afghanistan, who are enjoying it and also receptive to our message. When we have big meetings, we don't have place for people to sit. People with wheelchairs have no access to our worship. We try to give some cooking classes, but we know the capacity of the church is bigger, and we know that this church is eager to spread the gospel while these people are living in Vienna.
The members are undaunted by the challenges, but they need your help to build a new worship center to influence their world. Members here are rich spiritually, but because many live here under adverse financial and educational conditions, they have little worldly wealth. As they improve their lives, they want to be faithful witnesses to others whose struggle they can identify with.
It's a privilege for us that these days the World Church is willing to support this special project. We are looking forward to see that the church is growing. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you for giving financial support, and especially for your prayers.
We want to prepare Vienna to be ready for the soon coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you for giving.
This 13th Sabbath, will you answer the desire to have an adequate center, not only for worship, but a major outreach center of influence to a global community? What will you give on Sabbath, December 31, to share the truth as it is in Jesus with this secular city and beyond? We are the media missionaries of Network 7 Media Center, uniting the Seventh-day Adventist Church through the 13th Sabbath offering. Reporting this quarter from Central Europe, this is Mission Sonlight Edge.